Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. So it's an emote, and it's Banny in a Bane mask.
Please stop.
KZ Excellent.
I'm optimistic about things.
And Mr. Feel. Here on GigaBoots.
Star Fox Adventures.
What about it, Dan?
That's the tweet.
It's just that Control Delete League of Legends death.
Dan, I'm hungry.
Oh man, Prince Tricky with his sick raps needs to be fed.
I'm gonna feed him into a meat grinder.
I thought about it.
I wish. Okay, I'll send it to you.
Oh my god. So Star Fox Adventures is the biggest case ever in all of gaming history of flipped assets.
Yeah.
Half of that game is a mirror dimension, to the extent of which I think if you looked at the ones and zeros on the disc, it too would be a mirror image of the other half of the disc.
Oh God.
I'm serious. I'm not exaggerating. Audience, you need to take what I'm saying completely seriously and assume it is the exact level of gravity I'm giving it in my delivery. You will go to turn in your collectible because just getting the collectible isn't enough in this game. They make you do 2 different temples, and each of those temples have 2 routes that are nearly identical to turn in the 4 collectibles.
It's so funny. You could slowly see you realize that they do the mirrored thing where you entered an area where you hit a switch that moves the water current because the map is positioned like a U.
Yeah, like a U, yeah.
With a straight line going through it. And you're like, that's weird because you did it backwards first. And I'm like, oh, it's so you can go that way. And you're like, that looks like the exact same path. And then when they made you go back and basically do 2 dungeons twice, and it's the exact same one. Same puzzles too, just worse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. Every connecting zone is the same thing too. Like KZ just described the U, there are like 3 others. There are 3 other U's in this game. So you go down this path, and you know, in that case, it's a U. So the water's flowing one way after you throw the switch. You coast along the water and you go around, and then on the other side, you have to do the reverse of that puzzle and then throw the switch again and then coast around. Other areas, it's even weirder, where there will be a split in the hallway, and you can go 2 ways, and those 2 ways literally lead to what is, at a first glance, the exact same room.
Bob literally says, haven't we already done this? And you're like, Bob, I don't think you're understanding what we're dealing with here.
It's nuts. I've never seen this in a video game.
I was so upset because you were struggling turning in a spell stone to the water temple equivalent this game had.
Yeah.
And then when I realized, oh shit, if they're making you do the fire temple twice, we're about to do the water temple again, and it was so bad.
And the struggling in this isn't like some mental gymnastics. It's welcome to Star Fox Adventures. Shooting feels like shit. You will use this slingshot to do a timed challenge to shoot these tiny targets on the other side of this room at a specific speed, and it's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
They spin, and they get progressively faster each time. The time is very strict. The crosshair works like GoldenEye in 64.
And it's not hit scan. It takes seconds for your shot to travel the room.
It's like 4 or 5 second travel time. I'm like, Dan, you need to shoot when it's 85%. It's like 20% on its way.
So
the travel time is so much, and it's going so fast at the end. It is insane.
Yeah, and the thing is, the moment I got used to that speed, where KZ said that and I got used to it, they immediately ramped it up, but it was so subtle because the game doesn't...
Yes.
Like, it's so subtle that KZ's like, did they ramp it up? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm doing it at the same time, and it's not working now.
Yeah. And then you start over, and your brain's fucked because now it's going hyper slow because you haven't done any of them yet. So you're missing again because you're not used to the slow speed anymore.
Yeah, and they give you barely any time to get used to this nightmare slingshot.
Yeah, the whole thing's on a timer that's ridiculously short. It has barely enough time to complete it.
Yeah, the game did that a few different times.
The worst one is at the end of the game when it's like, okay, here are 6 portals with bad JPEGs of the other biomes. Pick up an item on the floor and match them. You just have to pause. There's not enough time.
Yeah, there's literally not enough time. You have to pause so you have enough time to process what's even in the room and what's on the floor. Because they're literally on the floor, and some of the things aren't colored well or designed well, so you can iconically figure out what the item is supposed to be, and you're supposed to match the item to the world it's from. And some of the worlds really blur together because a lot of these portraits are not distinctly different worlds. They're like almost a root off of each other.
They're like one room in that world. Like they don't make a designed like cool thing to show you, yeah, you remember this. It's literally like, here's a corner of a cave. Like, I don't know, that could have been 3 different places.
Yeah. It wasn't iconic either, so it's not like you need to match up the different temples with their awesome items. No, it's like you need to match up this somewhat related bullshit to Ted's closet versus Ted's garage.
There was the thing that we were like, this is a banana. This has got to be a banana. It's like, no, that was a tooth.
Yeah, someone in chat's like, no, that's a tooth.
Here we go.
I'm like,
I loved that just because it's like, oh, you failed. Okay, go back 3 rooms. So you have to do 2 puzzles again before you're allowed to try this again.
And all of these puzzles are giant fucking rooms that take way too fucking long. Like,
do you remember the horde lead up thing to get in there was?
Yeah. Where
it's like you have to go up to the top and you're like, I'm shooting this, but I don't know if there's anything here. And I'm like, use the optional zoom in visor thing I forced you to buy at the store. Zoom in. As you zoom in more, an icon just starts glowing.
Yeah, to really frame how insane this is, you reach a temple. And on the top of the temple, which you can climb stairs to get to, and literally like think Aztec temple, there is 2 holes in a thing that you can look
Gex
through,
level.
and there's shit in the distance. It did look a lot like a Gex level. There's shit in the distance, and you can see it, and you're just in first person. And you're like, what? What do I shoot it with the slingshot? What do I do? What do I do here? And Casey's like, pull out the binocs. I'm like, the binocs don't do anything. They have a zoom function. In. You can just zoom in. Once you start zooming in, this spot on this wall starts glowing insanely, and then just activates the room. The door opens. You can now enter the temple. And I'm like...
You knew it was going to be bad because I sounded angry.
There is nothing that hint you to that either. Like,
Nothing.
This is the non-essential item the entire game.
Yeah.
It's just something you could buy in the store.
And it's not like when they bought it, the description made it sound like it performed a bespoke, discrete function. Like, it just seemed like you could zoom in.
Yeah.
That's not an action in a video game, you guys. That's looking.
It's vague enough to be like, well, maybe it means it's a bigger map. Like, that's how vague the item description is.
That's true. The item description itself made it sound like it was a higher res version of the maps.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's such a...
God, the map thing was funny when it was like, look, you can zoom in and out of the minimap. That's really useful. I wish Kingdom Hearts 3 had that.
Well, with mods on PC.
Yeah. A limitless potential. One of my favorite things in the Star Fox thing was, I'm like, I figured out this puzzle, Dan. When would you like me to tell you? And 3 minutes later, you're like, fine, tell me. Pick up these explosive rocks that you never thought you could put down and put them in holes.
Yeah, because you can't put down many of the explosive objects in that game. In fact, one of the best viewed clips from that stream is me trying to put down an explosive barrel, which you can put down, as I find out later, on a surface that has an icon on it. But I'm in a completely dark room, so I didn't know.
Yeah, you had to put these rocks into these holes, and then it would shoot the gas that would come out of them to a giant rock all the way over there and would lift it so you could walk through, and you're like, all right, I found 3, I have to find more. 15 minutes pass. All right, I'm passing it over to Bob, and I'm like, Bob, I just realized there are only 3 rocks. They expect you to put it in these 3 holes, and there's like 10 holes.
And even weirder than that, feel, is that the air was obviously being countered somewhat by the rocks because they were floating or sitting down or whatever. But you needed to put them in the exact right holes, which were signified by them floating in midair, which would be them blocking it less well because it was floating in midair instead of plugging the hole.
Yep.
It's several layers of really insane and bad, and this is like the most compromised, insane, and clunky fucking Rare game I think we ever played. And then we looked up the reviews.
The reviews were very funny. It's a tried and tested segment of these death streams.
This was maybe the largest disconnect I've ever seen.
But Dan, it was a triumph.
Yeah, they called this an epic triumph, and I'm like, half of this game is a mirror image. What are you talking about?
One thing that upset me the entire game, it has that thing from Ocarina of Time where you run up to a ledge, instead of having a jump button, you auto jump.
Yeah.
But they have coded it seemingly at random which ledges he jumps and which ledges he just falls.
Yeah. So you don't know whether or not, Fox is going to jump when he hits that ledge until you're plummeting and you go, I guess this wasn't one of those jumpy ledges. And it's not like this is random. There will be a thing easily within a jump's distance for you to jump to that you're supposed to jump to. But this ledge won't be coded, so you jump. You'll just fall. Because secretly, unbeknownst to you, on the other side of the room, there was a thing you could move and a thing you could shoot that would raise water. And that's why they didn't code that to make you jump.
That's so disgusting.
It's so fucking bad.
I was a big fan of whenever you'd get through a section, you're like, well, let's figure out what we need to do. You pause. You go over to the Slippy Toad head. He's like, I don't know, go talk to Peppy. And Peppy's like, here's my world map.
Some things jingle where you're supposed to go. Just look for the dangling bit.
It's the most, insane thing that they put a codec system for Metal Gear Solid and didn't write anything for one character. And yet had him callable.
Yeah.
Dan left and refused to come back until the stealth segment was over. When it became a 7th gen game where they meet General Scales and are beat up in a cutscene and then stripped of all their stuff.
And then he has a prison escape sequence. And I left the room before any of this shit happened. But when I look at my phone and I see that's what's going on, I'm like, Casey, it's me in chat. Tell Bob I'm not coming back till it's over.
It ended up being fine. But
yeah, in the grand scheme of that game.
Yeah,
but it's still funny.
Yeah, it's
what a bad fucking video game.
Shocking.
I didn't actually expect that.
Yeah, I thought this would be like one of their sobered up games.
I thought this was going to be the equivalent, right, of Mercury Steam's Metroid game, right?
Uh-huh.
Where Nintendo's like, well, this is our IP now. We have a standard. No. They've just been abusing the shit out of the Star Fox IP since day 2. Like, okay, well, here's 64, and now for the rest of time, you will be our redheaded stepchild. God.
Yeah, good job. I'm glad you went through that less than a week ago.
Yeah, 6 days ago. Oh, man. Seriously, never would have expected. I've never played a video game where half of it is a mirror image. Like, imagine you're playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, and they're like, congratulations, you beat Baltimore. Let me introduce you to Mora Balt.
I wish.
You're like, this is the same fucking city.
Well, it's okay. We made a split in the exact middle and flipped it.
And this one has the rail spin. Completely different room. Okay, so after that, after we play Star Fox Adventures, and we hit our goal for the Knack Pack a combo attack pack stream goal, Jack.
Knack.
And cracked out stream goal. We hit that, so I guess sometime soon we're going to be doing Knack 1 and Knack 2 back to back on a stream. I think that's going to go better than this by a lot.
It always has to.
You'll just still want to die.
Not as bad as Star Fox Adventures.
That was the closest I've seen you get to just tapping out. Like
I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I cannot believe. I can't. I cannot believe. I never would have guessed. Also, we didn't even talk about the twist in that game.
The really bad twist of here's your main villain. Shows up at the end when you still have like one more ghost left to get and they don't know what to do. He's like, I'm gonna fight you now. You block him for a bit, finally decide to attack, and halfway into the frame of you attacking, they play a cutscene of like, no, don't do it. And you're like, oh god, it's Andros.
Yeah.
And then the ancient relic head that you see in one cutscene earlier in the game because they didn't know how to link the crystal storyline to the one you were actually doing with Fox. It just flips it on its side, and just the back of his head is fucking Andros, like the end of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
With fucking turban head.
Yep.
And you have to do a bad space segment at the end that makes you go, wow. They couldn't even let you have cool crocodile villain guy.
Yeah, I think it's fucking nuts because we had
Like, this game still would have been bad, but at least it would have had, it wouldn't just be, okay, it's the same villain again.
like they
I
didn't
don't know
integrate
why.
him in a way that makes any sense at all. Like they tried to make it make sense and it doesn't. It just doesn't fit there. It doesn't make sense. The first boss of the game is embarrassingly broken. Like once I figure
Good
out,
model, though.
once I figure out, yeah, you just keep blocking and then you hit him. Like you just keep blocking and you hit him. Whenever he finally opens up his weakness hole, you just shoot it with the slingshot and you're done. You don't have to move. You don't have to try. You don't have to do anything. He won't even hit you. He misses. I was like, man, that feels like wasted potential. This is like one of the best looking models in this game. And then boss fights from there got really weird and mostly non-existent. And then we hit a boss fight that was a weird, wicked-ass dragon in a lava ravine. And I was like, this is crazy. This thing's nuts. And then someone was like, yeah, that was apparently a part of the final boss fight.
Yeah, so someone while you're fighting Andros said, yeah, this cool guy was going to be the final boss originally.
And I'm like, come on, man. That's better than what
And
I'm
now
doing.
they
right.
just made him, he just made him the henchman in the part where it's like you're teaming up with all the dinosaurs to fuck up this one location.
Yeah, and
The most sober part of the game.
and then on top of all of this, that Star Fox segment at the end is literally the saddest it's ever been. The thought
What do you mean Falco showed up?
The thought that Nintendo put their seal of approval on that as a Star Fox segment is nuts.
But don't forget, leading up to that, every time we went to a new location, we did a 30-second Star Fox segment that was just incredibly anticlimactic and bad.
Yeah, it was the equivalent of the loading hallways from Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, but a Star Fox segment. And they're like, okay, fly through a golden ring. Oh, you did it. Good job. And then the level doesn't end. You still have to fly through the rest of it. And on top of this, it's like, it doesn't make sense why you're doing those. It's so weird. They're like, you need these fuel cells to get to the floating islands. It's like, but I can get to orbit. What are you talking about? This game made me feel like...
They don't know.
This game made me feel like Truman when he starts finding out the entire, like, Truman Show is a show. He's like, what are you talking about? And she's trying to sell coffee grinds to the invisible camera. That's me communicating with the game design. It was rough. It was real
You hit
rough.
the point where the next area you would have to go is the temple again. And I'm like, all right, you're flying back to the planet because you were on the floating island at the time. And I'm like, all right, Dan, in this flying segment, it's the last one. They're going to fly you to the temple now instead of the hub this time. There's 15 minutes left in the game according to the long play.
Yeah, because every time, this game loves wasting your time. You guys don't understand. You get placed at the same hub every time, and you have to walk your ass to the water temple to go through the water temple to turn in the collectible. Then you have to do it for the mirror image. Then you have to do it for the fire temple. Then you have to do it for the mirror image of the fire temple. These are almost an hour each. It's like 20 to 40 minutes of just walking your ass over there. It's such a blatant amount of padding I've never experienced before. I don't understand how the fuck this came out and got good reviews. It is nuts. So yeah, anyway.
Would you recommend?
I would not recommend. Bob, would you?
Definitely not. Don't play this.
No,
It'll only make you upset. Even if you're just like, well, I just want to look at Crystal. She's only there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, we had people in chat being like, Crystal.
I heard this influenced every furry on Earth.
Yeah, they were saying that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's barely in this game. Like,
Also, she sucks.
yeah, no, let's just... I cannot understand you trying
There's
to...
nothing for her to suck. She doesn't do anything. The only good part was when her giant head appears an hour into the game to be like, hello, you must go do this with my stick.
Yeah, no, that part is even more insane than the rest of it.
She's so blatantly edited out of the game. It's really pathetic.
It is, because that would have been better.
Yeah.
Why can't I use my blaster fucking
Pepper?
fucking General Pepper or whatever his fucking name is? He's like, you would just shoot everyone, so no.
Yeah, it's a shame that ended up like that. I didn't realize. Apparently, Nintendo selling Rare to Microsoft had already been finalized before that game shipped. It's so the amount of reviews that were just like, oh, this is great. It's the last time it's going to be this good. It's so good. Yeah, it was their opus. That's nuts. I didn't play much else other than Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 for the PS5. I have interesting stories about that. The first time I synced the game, I only got, 23% of the trophies. It didn't proc them all correctly. So, guys, I deleted my PS5 save and resynced to the PS4 save 3 times in order to get my full trophy amount.
That's so crazy because mine got all the trophies, but it crashed while I was booting or like trying to transfer them. So I'm really surprised it did.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Then I was like, what trophies are left in this game now that I finally got this synced up? And I looked at it and I was like, I should do that in the tiny amount of free time I have this week while editing all this other stuff and dealing with housing shit. Because, I would love to live indoors.
Been a while. I think you've earned it.
So I started doing those trophies and I was like, well, it only makes sense to do them on PS4 so I can sync it and get the double platinum without doing it again on PS5. So I've been playing the PS4 version of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 plus 2. The PS5 version looks great.
Isn't it great seeing Dan run at full performance doing exactly what you expect of him?
Yep.
The PS5 version's really great. I look forward to when I get level 100 and can play it. That trophy I'm perfectly fine redoing on PS5 just because why wouldn't I want to play a fresh run of Tony Hawk 1 or 2? Like that's really fun. And the performance mode's nuts. It runs at like 120 locked. Internally it's 1440p and luckily on my LG C10 OLED it does proper 4K 120. So it just works. So that's cool. But yeah, so far, recently anyways, for these trophies, I've been doing the PS4 version, which is tolerable. Man, some of those hard get theirs, as they call it, are absolutely fucking nuts. Coming back to that, it's like, okay, you need to grind all the way down this line and then stick with me, buckaroo. You're going to manual all the way back and then do it again. I'm like, what?
What, like regrind?
Yeah. So you have to do the loop twice, all in one combo, and you have to land these gaps perfectly in order to get this one hard get there in Skater Heaven. And that's not even the worst one. The worst one is the bull ring, possibly, or what was it? What else was terrible? Marseille?
Yeah, you were yelling about that one a lot.
Marseille really upset me. They're heinous, but I'm done with them now, so whatever.
Whatever, it's fine. I won.
This platinum is definitely for sickos. It has a 0.1% rate.
Oh, good. Just like Crash 4.
Yes, exactly like that. But for Tony Hawk, so it's better.
I've seen plenty of people, plenty of trophy enthusiasts going, I don't know about this syncing to get all trophies, but Crash 4, yeah, you earned it. You're a sociopath if you got that trophy, so you deserve it twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, no, that's real rough.
Get
over there.
106%.
Yeah, so Tony,
look forward to playing that.
Tony Hawk,
I'd sign up to 100% Donkey Kong 64 before I'd sign up to 100% Crash 4.
I'm starting to think I would too. Every time,
because Crash 4 is hard.
Crash 4 is unbelievably hard. That game's just
Donkey Kong 64 is like it's an N64 game, but it's not expecting you to.
DK64 is sitting in a room until a timer finishes ticking down.
Yes.
Now, would you do Jet Force Gemini instead?
No.
Okay. No.
Yeah, I figured. That's a nightmare.
Glad we got that figured out.
and in record time, too.
I know. Not much debate needed.
But yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, PS5 looks incredible in that performance mode.
It looked incredible already, which shocks me.
Yeah, so the fact they retooled how the anti-aliasing works and all these other bits, and also cranked up some of the settings, and it runs at 1440p 120. I'm like, this is it. This is great. I don't need games to look better than this anytime fucking soon. Please, I will pay you $60 for Tony Hawk 3. I will pay you another $60 for Tony Hawk 4. This is so fucking good. Just give me more of this.
No, they got absorbed into Blizzard and are dead now.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Hopefully that Diablo 2 thing comes out good. Diablo 2 is also a great game. So good, one might say that Diablo 3 is only good if you haven't played Diablo 2 anytime recently.
I think that's fair.
We'll see what the comments think.
I'll play it on Switch.
The remaster of 2?
3.
Oh, well, sure. What's it fucking matter? That thing came out on PS3.
Yeah, that thing runs on toasters. It's like, that's the point.
That's the point of Blizzard
Yeah,
nowadays.
Yeah, it's a Blizzard game.
You get
Yeah.
to watch you get to watch that amazing scene with Deckard Cain that I don't want to spoil.
Yeah, don't want to spoil
Now,
that.
if you want to play something horrible on the Switch, you can just play Overwatch, where I think some characters are just small orbs that you can't interact with.
At launch, yes.
That's a feature.
The only thing I know about Deckard Cain is my friend Sky, who just does an impression of that,
Oh, yeah.
and did that fucking every day for like 6 months.
Oh, yeah. No, that's always fun. You come back to that town, and he just offers to identify your items, and it's really good and cozy.
Okay, so I have to admit this. Whenever you say Deckard Cain, I think of two things, and usually one, but sometimes either. I either think of Blade Runner,
Okay.
or I think of Fast and the Furious.
Wait, is there someone called Decker in that?
Yes.
I actually I didn't know that.
There's
Huh.
he's played by Jason Statham.
Oh yeah, Deckard Shaw.
It's a
Yeah,
little
I'm like-
different.
Deckard.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah,
Fantastic films.
yeah. That's really all I played this week. Just some Tony Hawk while I tried to edit too many podcasts for what I was calling an off week. Hey Bob,
Hey,
what you been playing?
I played through Record of Lodoss War, but I think Field did as well, so I'll hold off on
I
that.
also did.
Okay, well, I'll get to that after my other things then. A new game came out on Steam. It's free to play.
All right.
Some famous people from Square Enix worked on it.
Oh no.
It's called Another Eden: The Cat Beyond Time and Space. This is a port of mobile game from 2017.
Yeah, it is.
How is it?
It's a really bad mobile game that isn't properly optimized for PC at all.
Of course.
My favorite thing is anytime I ask you how good is it, I always want say it's bad. Say it's bad. It's the only time I want things to be bad.
Now, Bob, we got to hook people with how port of a mobile game this is.
Okay, I boot up the game.
Mm-hmm.
It takes me to a screen that says, "Okay, you should have your device connected to Wi-Fi because I'm gonna download a really big patch. It's 700 megabytes."
Oh my god!
Okay, it's
Yeah, you don't want to use your mobile data player.
Is there a virtual joypad like on the screen? Are we like Chrono Trigger PC launch levels?
You don't see it, but you either use the WASD to walk around or touch on the screen with your mouse, and it doesn't read that properly. So you should really use WASD.
God.
Yeah, it's really rough. You have to use Alt F4 to close it.
Oh no!
Oh yeah,
Or
and
go
that,
back to your
you
phone's
know-
dashboard.
You know what? That doesn't sell it, Bob.
Okay.
You need to tell them the game has a guide. It's like here's how you
What?
do all of these things, and then for closing the game, it just says Alt F4. That's
yes,
how you do.
that's in the guide. I didn't make that up.
It comes up off as like the whole rip out the power cable for your Mister. Now it's turned off.
But this is for a commercial video game.
Yeah.
Also, that download thing that I talked about, that bar doesn't fill up right. So it went to 340% or so. What? And then it looped back around and was like, okay, now I'm back at 80%. And when I hit 100 this time, it'll actually work. So I assumed the update was actually way bigger than the 700 megabytes it pretended to be.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They designed that thing to deal with the 700 megabytes, and then they didn't prep for anything else.
There's two currencies in this game, which is common, totally common for a mobile game.
Yep.
You have one you pay for and one you don't. This is the only time I've ever seen this part to it. They are identical. They look exactly the same, but one says paid next to it. So I had
Fake Grand Order does that.
Oh my.
They have a thing at the end of the year where it's like, if you do a roll with paid currency, we guarantee that you'll get like the best tier of unit. And it's like, oh, I have that. I was like, no, you have to pay. It doesn't count. And the fucked up thing in Fate Grand Orders, it's like, yeah, for $100 you get like 80 plus 40 bonus. The bonus ones don't count.
What? Oh yeah, you didn't pay for them. I see.
But this sounds better than Fate Grand Order, because Fate Grand Order does not give you 2 counters. They give you 1, but it internally keeps track of what you're paid.
I assume it's the same with this, honestly, because I didn't see a separate counter for it. It's just like, you have 1,000 of this, so you should try and roll. No, that's not paid. You can't roll. I'm like, what?
Into the
Sorry,
dumpster.
Chief Ash, you got to give us money right now.
So that's really bad.
Every mobile game is just Morshu from the fucking CDI Zeldas. Sorry, I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little richer.
Oh, a realtor said that to me the other day.
Come back when you get some money, buddy.
The other thing I played was Neo 2. I went back to the remaster of that. Still looks really great.
Hell yeah.
Found out the recommended levels are for stages are lies. Like I've been stuck on one that's recommended level 145 for like a month. I just stopped playing the game, was like, I can't beat that boss. And this doesn't properly scale. I start doing other ones in the hard mode that are like, oh yeah, this one requires level 180. I just kind of blow through it. It's like nothing. And I'm able to continually do this, and they drop better gear, and it's like, why didn't you scale this right?
Sometimes your estimate is just grossly wrong. Sometimes these things happen.
I guess.
I have to assume they just had some bullshit calculator for the hard mode ones that like isn't fine-tuned at all.
Yeah, maybe, because I'm doing the DLC one, which is the 145 one that's completely locking me. It's like, this is ridiculous. So maybe after some grinding in these hard modes, I will be able to go back to normal mode and finish the DLC. That'd be nice. I also made a character that looks like Towa from Yashime.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Towa.
I bet I could. They have enough customization in there. I think they have the exact hairstyle.
Why do we not own that game?
Because it's actually bad, but the ad is really funny.
The ad is really funny. The art style thing is just bizarre and interesting.
It doesn't have enough frames, but I still get behind it.
God does it not. Holy shit.
Bad never stops you.
Let's see. I'm going to go buy that while you continue to talk about stuff.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm out of things other than Record of Lodoss War.
Okay, let's talk about that then.
Sure. I hear you didn't watch the anime.
No, I've not. I don't know shit about it. Which I got the gist, but boy, do they expect you to have watched the anime.
Yeah, I was playing through. I was like, man, I would get literally nothing from this if I hadn't watched that. Just the OVA, because it's clearly a sequel to that.
I got the broad strokes, but yeah, it's like, I'm sure this would be hitting a little bit if I watched this.
Yeah, no, having watched it, that's better than any story they tell in the show.
That's what I've heard.
Which is so sad.
Will Aggro be offended, or was that a different anime that you shot that would make
no,
him
it's
sad?
Aggro would be offended.
Yes. I don't know. This is solid stuff if you know what's going on. Otherwise, like, oh man, hi, character. Oh man, that means a lot to me right now.
Look, if Aggro wants to be offended, he needs to start showing up for Big Think. He doesn't have rights to be offended until then.
That is true. Whenever like you're gonna show up for this variety show. Time for big things. Like, it's time for me to get the fuck out.
I'm not saying he's making the wrong call. I'm just saying certain perks come with the territory. By the way, I wanted to clarify before we drifted too far from it. The game Bob and I were talking about is called Time and Eternity, not Toki and Towa. So anyways, continue with your deedlit bullshit.
Oh god, Time and Eternity. God, that animated thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
2D characters, 3D environments, 10 frames per second on the 2D.
I think it's Toki Towa in Japan, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
For people who didn't have the full name, this is Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth, not Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's Deedlit in Wonderworld.
I was dying when I saw that.
Deedlit in Balan.
But it's like a really interesting Symphony of Night / Ikaruga game.
Yeah, I had no idea it had Ikaruga mechanics. That's insane. You have a wind spirit and a fire spirit, and you swap whether you're wind or fire, and you're immune to whichever one you are. Also, it's Cave Story.
What do you mean?
Cave Story has that same mechanic where when you get hit, the weapon you're using levels down.
Ah, yeah, it does. Yeah, you have to build up the Doritos.
Yeah, in Cave Story, it's like Doritos, but in this, it's cubes, and like they look very similar.
But you do have like an overall level. It's not like Cave Story where you just become very weak. You have your overall level, but you lose your like spirit level,
your weapon level.
Yeah, so your magic gets less powerful, and your attacks get less powerful when you get take hits, which is neat. It's very short. Like I think I beat it in around 6 hours.
Yeah, it took me. I played it all in one stream. It took me 4.5 hours. The last area kind of brutalized me a little bit.
Yeah, the game's weirdly easy until the last like 2 bosses.
I feel like you went up to an enemy and paused and went, "What the fuck are you gonna do to me?" And it just threw rocks at you.
There was the moment like, here's a hallway with 700 enemies that all have a shitload of health and are spamming very dangerous shit at you at once. I'm like, please.
I didn't.
Why?
I'm tired.
I didn't really get much resistance from those, but I could. Did you find all the upgrades for your spirits?
I don't know. I found some.
Okay,
I don't know how many there were.
Yeah, I don't know how many there are either. I got like 2.
I just went to the merchant and bought the GT, which has the fastest speed of anything I found. I'm like, I'm just gonna mash this button and you're gonna die. It has short range, but I hit you like 15 times a second. Yeah, not quite Chrysogam speeds, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, I wonder if there is like, I didn't go 100% the map. I wonder if there is some sort of ultimate weapon you can find.
Yeah, I might do that.
Yeah, this game seems like my exact shit because it does seem to it's Symphony of the Night, but Ikaruga, but also has a buddy must die shmup bullet hell energy. Like I really appreciate that from that.
If you like the bullet hell energy, you should also try the Toho one because it's way more explicitly that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I planned on checking that out at some point.
This has a lot more bosses than the Toho one, but they're all generally much easier.
Yeah, like I was saying, I blew through most of them without even being like, I was like, one try.
Man.
Yeah, I watched Feel Fight one and it was just seemed so effortless. Like just rinsed one of them.
Which one was it that I just
you're like this character design's really good, and then you just effortlessly fucking curb stomp.
Oh, the cleric.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair to the game, that's the second phase in a 2-phase fight.
Yeah.
And the first phase is also really easy.
And if you use magic, it gets even more unhinged. I saw people on the forum of the discussion section on Steam being like, "Don't use the magic if you want it to be hard. That's cheating." Like,
I mean, they have a point considering that.
Wow.
Considering that the big dragon who shoots a giant fire stream at you, I'm like, well, I'm gonna turn to fire mode so I'm invincible and use this really expensive wind spell that turns you into mulch. And my MP constantly regenerates because you're breathing fire on me, which I absorb.
Yep.
I love that.
I'd love to see them do like a hard mode for this or just expand on it more. Like if they could do a sequel, that'd be really cool. I kind of doubt that'll happen though.
Yeah, probably not so there's a thing at the end of this game that I didn't know what the fuck it was, and neither did anybody in the stream who watched Record of Lodoss War. So I had to do research. That thing at the end that if you get to it, I'm not going to say anything about what it actually is, but if you get to the end of this game and you're like, what the fuck is that? That's the opening of the novel, the new novel that started in 2019.
Yeah, I found that out too. I was like, oh, I was getting hyped.
Maybe that'll get an anime and then they'll make a sequel to this game.
Maybe. Also, did you get any duplicate item drops?
I don't think while I had it, but once I sold some things, the enemies dropped it again.
Okay, I was thinking that had to be how it worked because I never saw more than one of an item drop.
Because I sold the Goblin Club, that one of the early By the way, all the enemies in this are fucking incredible looking.
Yeah.
In their like anime D&D energy, the kobold slayed me. How it's this tiny little wolf idiot who throws a boomerang at you. But yeah, it just looks like they don't drop it more than once if if you already have it, they won't drop it.
Right, like it's programmed not to have or not to store multiples of anything you have. So
I guess they don't want you selling it to get money because you can sell things.
right. Well, I guess that you'd have to grind by killing it and then coming back to the shop, and it's
Yeah, that's a lot.
yeah. I wonder if they'll get more advanced with those features in their next game.
There's one section of the game I really fucking hated. It was only like 5 to 10 minutes long, but it was so bad I have to wonder why they put it in there. Which is the dreams, which is there's like a segment that's like a set piece, almost like a narrative set piece, where you have to dodge hyper powerful enemies in a hallway. You cannot fight them.
Yeah, I got to that and I thought it was neat, but I didn't see what they're doing. But yeah, they probably should have presented it in a different way.
They just should have not had the enemies. Why did they have to have the enemies?
I don't know why they had to have so many of the enemies.
They killed. There's like 6. They killed me like 4 times.
Jesus.
Wow. And they trick you because they give you a sword that's real big and you swing the sword and Deedlit can't actually swing it. So it embeds in the ground and then you're stuck until you pause and switch weapons. I
actually did it once to see how long she would sit there. She eventually stopped, but after like probably a full minute. It's insane.
I'm wondering if there's any way to actually use it. Because again, I didn't search out the entire map or like max out the level, which could potentially affect it.
I think after that sequence you can use it normally. It's okay.
No, because you still have it. You still have it at the very, very end of the game, and you swing it, and it's like no.
I thought you had it when that's immediately after that scene ended, and you could use it normally.
Yeah, I didn't use it then. I tried to use it later, and it just embedded in the ground.
Yeah, it works normally during the regular game. Because I remember doing that and being like, yeah, this sword's okay.
Yeah, most of the time I used the boomerang.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I could not stand that thing.
It deals so much damage. Apparently, there's an upgrade for it in the last stage, so I might have to try to find that.
I think I came across that and I didn't use it because I was like, well, I didn't like the boomerang. I don't need the sequel.
Yeah, it's called the chakram. But I ended up using the best thing that the merchant sells.
Oh yeah, the other thing I was gonna say, I think the art's immaculate, but I think like this was a problem in Luna Nights as well, where they sometimes go a little bit ham on how many effects they'll show on screen, so it becomes unclear what you need to actually be looking at, like what's actually dangerous here in the midst of all the nonsense.
Well, I like to believe when it comes to Housemarque doing that is an intentional gameplay design decision.
Perhaps they're like, no, you take this because we covered the screen and other things.
Yep.
Also, I wish the backdash didn't leave an after image that looks identical to your regular sprite.
Yeah, because that can be confusing.
Yeah, it was just like, no.
One thing that I wish was in the game is character portraits when they were talking.
That would help.
That feels like a weird omission considering how hard they want this to be Symphony of the Night. Because it's like, yeah, I kind of know what these characters look like, but would it kill you to have just like a little box with a picture of them?
Yeah, seeing like an immaculate pixel art face would be really good.
Yeah, or get Hidari, who did the promo art for that new novel and also the announcement art for this game, to do them.
Yeah,
they're a really good artist. So, Bob, do you like this more or less than the Toho one?
I need to play a Toho one again. I think I like the Toho one a little bit more, but I do really appreciate some of the things in this more. So, like, I like the melee combat focus of this has, but I think some of the time stopping mechanics that Luna Nights has are more interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Also, the bosses in Luna Nights, I think, were way better.
Yeah,
there were fewer of them.
Right. As we've said multiple times, you just really cream them. Like it seems bizarre. Yeah, there's like a boss rush at the very end, and it's like, and they give you a ton of items for each one you kill in the rush, and I'm like, I don't need these, especially since you didn't jack up their stats for end game, and now I'm high level and have a really good weapon. I just kind of tore them into shreds. Yeah, the first dragon pops up, you kill it in like 2 hits, which feels good, but I don't need a house restore after that. And like the final boss, I'm like, you're kind of on the level of like the second Luna Nights boss in terms of what you're doing. There's nothing like, I'm going to shoot a giant corkscrew beam at the ground and you have to jump through the
threads of the corkscrew and beam as it spins, or you get hit. There's nothing like that.
Yeah, no, I did expect it to ramp up way more than it did. I think the hardest fight in the game was, I'm not even sure anymore. They all started, like, once I learned what I need to do, and I think it was the Dark Knight fight, was like, oh, this is actually easy.
I don't think any of them got me more than once.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess this was harder, but I guess the final boss is the hardest because I didn't bother to learn it. I'm like, I have 12 potions, and I'm just gonna brute force you.
Wait, there's potions?
Yeah. You can buy them from the store, and they give you one at every single break in the boss rush.
Oh, those are potions you can use. What?
Yeah.
I didn't know. It didn't even occur to me to try because it's so.
They give you a potion, they give you a crystal to restore your MP, and they give you a thing that sets both your weapons to level 3.
Yeah, I thought that the potion was just automatically healing me right then. It didn't register that. Yeah, no, that one's just something you can use later. That's insane. I guess I could have just hammered through that too. Man, I don't get it. They really should just make a hard mode for this and really go in and like redesign some of these bosses and up the damage values insanely.
Yeah, just turn it into like Ecclesia, or it's like, no, you have to get good or die.
I think that the Dark Elf killed me a couple times because I was tired, but I think that was it.
Oh, I love Thor 2.
Oh, no, this Dark Elf looks cool. And anyone remembers her.
Yeah.
Oh, is she a character?
And
Yes.
this she is.
Ooh.
In the original series, debatable.
What about in the series where she's the protagonist? Have you watched that one?
Wait, they did a series about her?
Yeah, it's like a 3-episode OVA called like Legend of Crystania.
I need to check that out. I've been meaning to watch the TV show for Record of Lodoss War because it looks terrible, but the storytelling in the first episode was way better. So I'm like, maybe it's worth it.
I always thought the Record of Lodoss War was just novels, but no, that is not how they started. It is much stranger.
A D&D campaign or something before that?
A D&D campaign, but it was a D&D campaign done for a magazine and then just transcribed for the magazine.
Okay.
That's how our ancient podcasts were like. A transcript of Big Think Dimension.
Yes.
Oh God.
But yeah, I think the one that stars her is Legend of Crystania: The Chaos Ring.
I bet that one's not been brought to the US properly because I have the Blu-ray set that has everything that came here.
It says licensed by ADV, so I guess it came out in some form.
I guess
maybe they consider it a separate series because there's also like a movie and I think some other kind of show related to it. Yeah, Legend of Crystania, like First Time Adventurers or something like that. So they might just it might be like how Lost Universe is in Slayers.
Yeah, right.
I gotta watch that.
Anyone who says that is a fucking coward.
Weird. The cover of the first book doesn't even look like her. Oh well.
Bob, I have bad news.
What's up?
Time and Eternity. The only copy I can buy. That is a US copy. $50 fucking dollars.
Whoa.
Time to get on that PS3 store before it's gone.
As far as I could tell, it was not digitally released, but I should probably sign into a PS3 to check. I bet if it was digitally released, it's $60.
Probably.
Also, it says, oh no, looks like it's sold out everywhere. Damn.
Yep. This is what I get for not having money when it came out to buy interesting garbage.
Yeah, to buy filth.
It's scientifically interesting and of note.
Yeah.
It just sucks shit while it does that. Anyways, did you guys have any more thoughts on Deedlittery?
Wonderworld?
No.
Okay.
No. Also, apparently that game, Time Attorney was delisted from the store in 2015.
That checks out.
Which is probably why physical copies are so expensive.
Womp womp. Okay, well, Theo, talk about the rest of the games you played.
Okay, I gave a bunch of Sonic games a chance.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, good.
Specifically, I gave every Advance game a chance. I gave Sonic Battle a chance, and I gave Sonic Pinball Party a chance. These are all on the GBA.
Yep.
Here's my quick reviews. Sonic Advance seems fine. It seems like a Sonic game, more or less. Sonic Advance 2 seems a little bit less fun. It has a really horrible idea of bosses, which are man, it's sure cool when you fight Metal Sonic and Sonic CD and you're running. What if that was every single boss and we don't know how to design or balance them, so we have to constantly feed you rings during those fights?
What?
And then Sonic Advance 3 just seems bad. Like the levels are convoluted and messy. The bosses seem really bad. It's like, wow, this is like immediately repellent. Fuck this.
Did you play 4?
Is there a Sonic Advance 4?
Yes, I believe so.
I don't think so. I looked it up. There does not. Are you confused? Are you confusing it with
You're thinking about Mega Man 04.
Yeah, that's what I assume you're thinking of, because it went from 3 into Rush.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I had it in my head.
Then I played Sonic Pinball Party, which that's a bad pinball game. The boards are boring. Like, I think it's hilarious that there's a story mode where Sonic has to go to a pinball tournament to defeat Eggman. That's funny.
Yes.
It loses points because Sonic is not the ball. He's just playing on a pinball machine. It also wants an obscenely massive amount of points. It's like 10 million points on the first level, and I played like 5 minutes and got like 1 million. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, but no. And then the last one I gave a chance was Sonic Battle. That seems like a neat 3-hour game that they insisted had to be 7 or 8 hours for some reason.
Yeah, I have no idea what they were fucking thinking with that.
Now, is there anybody here who knows nothing about that game?
I'm pretty sure.
Didn't even watch my stream or anything.
I'm pretty sure all of us know about that game.
Yeah, I watched a Thor High Heels video, so I know about it.
Yeah, we played that game on a retro roulette a while ago. When we experienced, there's some neat ideas in here, and the visuals are neat. Oh God, this is a terrible mode.
now, audience, you know how in a normal fighting game, you fight somebody first 2 rounds, and then you move on. In this game, imagine if after you beat them in the first 2, they jump up and go, "We're going again. Now it's first to 4." And that's every single fight in Sonic Battle.
God.
And then they go, okay, now you're going to use this character that is unusably terrible unless you grind him for hours and hours.
Ugh.
Like,
Did you have fun?
What? No.
Okay.
Like, this could have been a fun game if you hadn't decided it needed to. 3 hours is a perfectly fine game length for the GBA. Why'd you do this? You turned what would have been an acceptable Sonic spinoff into a nightmare. Although it is pretty funny that you have a move where it just looks like the robot's dabbing, and you can repeatedly dab by mashing the button and win a fight.
That gets a point.
Yeah, that's an important feature.
Yeah, that brings it up to 4.
Hell yeah.
Out of 10.
I don't know about that.
Better than Star Fox Adventures.
Maybe.
Also, I beat Serious Sam 2. That game's great, except for the final boss, which is one of the worst final bosses in any game I've ever played. All I'm going to say about it is it's a 40-minute long vehicle segment.
Oh. Okay, that earns it.
Yeah, you really don't need to elaborate. That's all needs to be like, yeah, you're right.
In a Serious Sam game.
Yeah.
And 1, all the other bosses are fine. This one's just a nightmare. 2, the immediately previous boss was also a vehicle segment. Except you had a unique vehicle with unique weapons and mechanics, so it felt like a final boss, like it felt like a neat boss, instead of, here's the generic fucking bike from every other fucking level in the game, almost.
Ooh, cool.
Nothing about it feels neat. Now fight a building for 50 minutes.
Oh, it's DMC 2.
Oh, I think I remember seeing that from a Civi video.
Yeah, it's bad. And then the joke is, this actually wasn't ending. I guess you better wait for the sequel. And then Crow Team made 2 prequels.
What a bunch of assholes.
At least it seems to be moving forward, because I think in Serious Sam 4, Serious Sam from after Serious Sam 2 shows up from the future. I think that's something that happens in 4. But I didn't play it because 3 was so fucking bad. I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you after you made a Serious Sam game have iron sights and reloading and made it from the skeleton of a military shooter that got canceled.
Yeah, no, that's not okay. That's not okay. I didn't realize how obvious that would be seeing that game. Like those environments,
yeah,
Bob.
It takes place in Cairo now.
Yeah, just Bob, if you can imagine.
Okay.
Think back to any AAA 7th gen military shooter that wasn't a Call of Duty that gen, okay?
Yeah, they're all bad.
Well, you already imagined the environment. It is literally that abstract you just formed in your head brought to life.
Oh, man.
Sometimes there's scorpions.
Ugh.
The environment, though, is just straight up that. It's insane.
I'm trying to remember the name of that really low rent one. Conflict Desert something, I think. Let me see.
Conflict Desert Storm?
It might be.
I think that's an original Xbox game. I don't think that's a 7th gen game.
I think there's a 2. No, that's also
Maybe it was
PS2.
ahead of its time.
Yeah.
There's a Conflicts the series continued. What was that one?
Conflict Global Terror? No, that's also Xbox.
Okay.
You talking about what about the PS2 game where you beat up Osama bin Laden?
I guess it has to be Conflict Denied Ops.
Yes,
'cause I guess
Denied
they're
Ops. 2008. Here we go.
Okay, I'm pulling it up. I'm going to look at some images and tell you if that is exactly what it... One moment.
Oh, that's the most 7th gen box I've ever seen.
It really is.
Ever.
I'd rather play Army of Two.
Yes.
Mark
This is like off-brand Army of Two.
Army of Two had anything going for it. Oh my god, in Japan the game was released under the title Double Clutch.
That's a better name.
It is.
Too many of these environments are outside and have variety. These environments look higher rent.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
That is really bad.
But yeah, Serious Sam 2 is great. It has a really great curve where, like, in the first 2 chunks of the game, no, 3, it's like the first 3, you can really just double super shotgun through everything.
Sorry, I said 2, I meant 3.
And then it's like, okay, now it puts you into situations where you have to switch weapons more and more naturally, and it feels really good. Also, when they said you could dual wield any weapon, they weren't fucking lying. You can dual wield the minigun. It's like, wow, these are sure 2 giant minigun barrels I'm using to eviscerate anything instantly.
Okay, here it is, Bob. Fucking brace yourself.
Okay. What? This is a Serious Sam game?
That's Serious Sam 3.
Yep. Right?
No, it's not.
I remember a few years ago, I played that with friends. They're like, yeah, I've been really excited to finally play 3. Because I played with this group, like, first encounter classic and second encounter classic. I played this, I'm like, this is fucking boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game opens with fucking Sam with his fucking gravelly cartoon-ass voice being like, we gotta get in there and recon Bravo once we get the scientist. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you should have not shipped this.
Whoa.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
A lot.
But yeah, Serious Sam 2 is fantastic. It is $10 at full price on Steam. I recommend it now that you can dual wield things and just be a meat grinder on legs. Most things I saw are like 10 to 11 hours. I'm pretty sure solely because I could dual wield 7.5. It's just like, wow, I'm under half of the par time on every one of these levels. I wonder if it's because I can have a super shotgun in one hand and a rocket launcher in the other.
Unrelated, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's everything I played.
Yo, KZ, what you been playing?
I'll start with this one because I haven't dug too deep. Thanks to Square Enix, they sent me the Kingdom Hearts series, all of them, onto PC because they arrived on the Epic Games Store this week. So I was messing around a little bit with 3. I had been watching some streams of other people I know going through them. The older games, the older collections and stuff, need some patches, need some work. There's been some crashes on those. Some sound effects are fucked up. Someone noticed in Kingdom Hearts 2, there's moments early on where there's a lot of shadows around you, and they're like, use your fire spell, because in that one, it spins around you. But the game is glitched, so that sounds are louder if you hit more than one enemy. So
good thing that never happens in a Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, so if you happen to hit someone with a magic attack and you hit multiple at the same time, it sounds bass boosted. So sometimes you'll like hit thunder and it just sounds like a gunshot.
I wonder how it sounds
like
when you get to the massive battle segment, how that goes.
Yeah, I know. It's sometimes the sounds are just a little bit fucked up on those. Also, these insane motherfuckers have bound saves to PNGs that have data inside them.
What?
Yeah, so there's a little save icon, this little rectangle, and it has like the character's head on it. It's save data. They use some of those pictures in like the PS3 and PS4 ones for like the Sony menus, and someone's like, no, I went into a hex editor. This is the save. If you send someone the uncompressed source image, they can use it.
That's insane.
Yeah, people are like, here's my save on Twitter, and they're like, unfortunately, Twitter has compressed this, so it won't work. But if I gave you the original...
That was what I was thinking about, too. When you just said that, I was like, oh, and now it's corrupted.
Mm-hmm, and it's gone.
Somebody wiggled that PS2 memory card while saving.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious. I'm hearing, like, conflicting things on the frame rate stuff where... It's like these all have the exact same like additional menu where at any time you hit pause and hit escape, there's a brand new menu for like all the graphics options of up to 4K, uncapped frame rate, which makes no sense on the ports of the old games. Mainly because the game logic of stuff like KH2 is bound by frame rate, which is why certain things in KH2 are just broken at 60. To the point where someone booted up a boss, lowered the frame rate to 30, and it fixed it. Because it worked like the originals, which I thought was funny. Someone said that if you do them uncapped, it's like it's still 60. They're just interpolating them or something that creates bad ghosting. I don't know technical things. I just heard someone say words, and I'm like, those are words you said. I don't know if any of it's like accurate or anything. But yeah, those ports needed like a patch or two to like fix up some stuff or, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah, didn't another streamer we know crash 8 times trying to stream 2?
It was 6.
Yep.
Shibuya crashed 6 times playing 2.
Yep. Yeah, it'll just randomly like 2 will like randomly crash. I think there was something where it's like some people thought it had to do with alt tabbing.
Okay.
So I was watching streamers going, okay, you linked that,
see.
but I'm afraid of alt tabbing for it. It's real dangerous.
Developed by Bethesda.
Uh-huh. I've
or
been
Valve, I guess.
Yeah. I've been I love Valve games. I remember booting up TF2 and every time you load into a map, the loading screen wants to crash. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I've been playing a decent bit of the KH3 port, just so I could see if my machine can run it decently. It can. I'm like running this on max settings at like 1440p. It can't hold 60 if I do it full 4K, but this is acceptable. I was begging for a PS5 version, and this is close because it shreds the load times the PS5 had that already shredded the ones the PS4 version had. So loading into some worlds raw is like 6 seconds now, which
hopefully this means they will do a patch for the PS5 version eventually.
Yeah, I'm thinking so because they put in this work. They give you another exclusive, the PC exclusive Keyblade, which is King Mickey's new Keyblade, but grayscaled, calling it the Elemental Encoder. It's the best Kingdom Key in the entire KH3 because it gives you the fucking ability that makes it so item drops happen more often. It's just a little bit stronger than the Kingdom Key, and a new ability called Magic Roulette, where when that little situation bar that you get all your stuff in, it will randomly just give you a level 4 magic spell. Just a random one. And you don't even have to fulfill its requirement. So that's like the best one of those. I played up to like about midway through the Tangled world. Runs great, experienced 0 crashes, no like frame rate dips. Genuinely like seems to, and everywhere else I've been seeing is that this is clearly the best of those ports is the Unreal Engine stuff because it's, you know, not 20 years old. They've already broken into it. People are like, I wonder how long it'll take them to crack into this and start messing with files. It's like, it already works, and everything they've been doing to hack the PS4 version ported perfectly into this one. So people are already messing around and making mods and stuff. Same with KH2, where the randomizer, I was wondering how long it would take them to even approach that type of thing. Turns out they were making some cheat engines for the emulator that could also work on the PC version, and it just works. They just need to find the addresses for every single item in the game. and other stuff. They already have like screenshots of stuff working and other crazy stuff. So the mod scene for this is going to be insane, and it's only been like 3 days, and I'm already seeing some absurd stuff with these. That's good. Funniest thing to come out of this is I learned another thing that I don't think Epic knows how to do. These games launched. They were full price. So you could pre-order Kingdom Hearts 3 for like $60, but they include the DLC at least. It was somehow the least egregious one because 2.860. I don't know how you do that.
Ugh.
They go up and they're like, now anyone can buy them. They are now on sale. They slapped
And if
the
you
price.
pre-ordered, it wasn't. You didn't get a sale price.
And then the Twitter said, the Kingdom Hearts Twitter said, okay, they're out. Anyone who pre-ordered them, you will get money back equal to how much the sale is. So you would like get the difference, which makes me convinced Epic can't put a pre-order on sale. Like
Probably
they don't
not.
know. I think they can't do that.
Didn't they do that for Borderlands 3 and then everybody got upset because they shouldn't have done it? Like they didn't approve it was 2K?
I think it was out
Maybe?
already.
Because I have no idea how it's like they just...
I remember
instantly
that
do
happening because it was insanely clown shoes because Randy Pitchford tweeted that it was on sale and then he later deleted it because he didn't know that wasn't supposed to happen. Which makes me think he told Epic it was okay and he didn't check with anybody else around him.
Yeah, but it was really puzzling where it's like, it launched this morning and the prices immediately went down, but then they immediately, the exact same minute, went, yeah, and you'll get it back, so don't worry about it. So it just seemed like very strange.
Yeah, that was weird. It does go back to like your real card or whatever you use, not to your wallet for Epic Game Store, hopefully.
Yeah, they said that they were going to refund it equal to the amount, that should have been for the discount, so I believe it has to just be giving it back to you. To be honest, Bob, you said the wallet. I didn't know if Epic had a wallet.
I think they do.
Again, I was like, people keep saying they didn't have a cart, but it's been over 2 years. Let me click. Yeah, no, they don't have a cart.
Of course not. I mean, the eShop doesn't have a cart. Why do we need a cart over here?
Yeah, you picky double standards motherfuckers.
Man, you're right. I never buy anything in bulk from Nintendo. Now that I think about it.
Bob, I'm going to need you to friend me on Epic. Here's my 37 character long ID.
Pain, anguish. But yeah, these are good. If you're interested in the mod stuff, I'd say like wait maybe like 6 weeks, and I'm sure that shit will pop off even more.
I'm imagining there's either this ID, or we can both log in Fortnite and then just look at each other and immediately be friended.
you look at each other and you middle mouse click.
I played Fortnite on PS5. We friended him because that's linked through Epic on the launcher. My same friends are there. They're like, just look at me, and then we can friend each other. But yeah, I'd wait until you see some mods pop up on Twitter for whichever game you're like interested in, and then just pick that one up. But they are running a sale. Kingdom Hearts 3 has is down to like $45, and you get 3 months of Disney Plus.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, finally, some like cross promotion here.
We make jokes like that for fucking armchair devs and gamer premonitions. That's not supposed to actually happen.
At least it makes sense here since it's the Disney game.
I know, right? But still.
They should have tossed in a couple months of Game Pass too.
No. Check it out. If you buy enough of the Kingdom Hearts games on PC, you get a discount on going to Disneyland this summer.
Hey, that's useful. Whole country's going to be opening in about 2 months.
I saw a screenshot that made me go feral about these ports. The last thing about them. Kingdom Hearts 2, there's a part where you play as I think Riku, and I think they have the little prompts there for the buttons. In the Xbox version, I feel like they had different buttons on there, and it feels like their way of fixing it was overlaying other buttons on top of that picture of those buttons. So some of this port's kind of made with gum on some of the older ones. It's kind of insane.
Also, the default key for mouse and keyboard for those reaction commands is F, which leads to some pretty funny screenshots.
Yes.
Triangle's considered F on default, but you can actually fully rebind every key in that game, which was kind of shocked. Didn't expect them to actually do that. Also, the sound settings where people are like, finally, volume sliders. They cap at 1. They're like, no, We don't want you putting any of the sound at 0.
What?
I mean, yeah.
What?
People are
What?
like, finally, I finally, maybe I do speed runs. I just want to put the music at 0 and just play something else. It's like, no. And then people are like, okay, go in this document, just fucking type that.
When you said cap at 1, I'm like, so it goes 0 to 1. So what?
Yeah, it goes 10 to 1 on every type of sound.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. Also, this is the first time some of these have dual audio, which I think is neat. I didn't think we'd ever get that because they're like, no, it's Disney. You want the original like Disney voice. It's like, no, I want to hear Japanese Donald real bad. I need that real bad.
Does he sound like he's dying?
He doesn't sound like he's dying, but he's even more incomprehensible. But sometimes not. The fucking current Donald's having a rough go. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. The KH3 port at least seems to be pretty perfect. I don't see anything they really need to mess with.
I mean, yeah, I assumed that one was going to be the good one, the solid one, because Unreal Engine 4, you know?
I was still worried even then, just like Japanese PC ports.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like it's a roll of the dice.
It usually is, but Unreal Engine 4 made that the most safe of all these Kingdom Hearts games. I'm surprised we haven't heard worse reports about the other games just not even booting.
Yeah, they boot. They just, they have some crashes. Also, they got rid of soft reset on any game that had it, which is fucked up.
Yeah, that's weird.
Sometimes they just unboot. It's fine.
Oh no!
They boot extra. They boot un.
Donald, no! So, the other thing I played, Monster Hunter Rise, which came out last week. I played like 25-ish hours of that.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've just been, because I did some streams of it, and it's a fun thing to just jump into. This might be one of the best games on the Switch at this point, from both gameplay standpoint, visuals, stability. Like it has been really, really solid. Where sometimes I'll just look at the game and like, how'd they do that? I guess the RE engine's just built different. It can run things at stable frame rates that Nintendo cannot figure out sometimes with this machine.
Yeah, they finally figured out how to rip out all the physically based rendering. And it was like, oh, now it's just really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only part that looks rough is occasionally when you look at a distance and you see a monster running at 15 frames a second. I'm like, yeah, I get you. I understand. So this is based on world. So this has the seamless transition to areas. So you don't they're still numbered, but they're not little boundaries. They have little load screens on them at all. And they added some like new enhancements. You have a dog called a Palamute. That's like a big dog, like the one in Tales of Vesperia, where you can jump on it and then ride it and drift with it to get speed boosts.
Wait, in Tales of Vesperia, can you ride it?
No, but it looks like it, like a big, big dog. You can also like give it a scar, so it only is like looking out of one eye. But that's pretty cool. You can run around with the dog. It allows traversal to be a lot faster. When you play Monster Hunter World, you would go up to a quest, you would accept it, and then it would have to load, and then it confirm, and then you could hit a button to then leave to the location for another load. You would arrive, then you would look for the monster by tracking prints, and then it would do little sparkles that would take you to it. And so it'd take you about 5 minutes from the start to be fighting a monster. In this game, it's 40 seconds. You accept the quest and you're already ready to load in. Then you do about a 10 to 11 second load, and then you're in the world. And the monster's always on the map. They're just like, hey, hit lock on and then just run over to it.
Huh.
And your speed is really good. The levels are more vertical this time because you have something called a wire bug that lets you shoot out like Spider-Man-esque web slingers. And you can shoot out a few of them. You can even shoot them into the air to like web zip up. So it's really easy to jump big gaps, or if a monster knocks you off a cliff, you can literally recover. You can like either shoot to boost yourself above it, or shoot against like a cliff wall, and then start using your stamina to wall run up and grab back on. So it's really, really versatile in that way. They've replaced the mounting that you would usually do, where you'll beat the hell out of a monster and then jump on it and then fuck with them a little bit. And they replaced it with wyvern mounting, where you get a bunch of wires on it and then you just control it. and then you can use it to beat up another monster. And usually you beat up the other monster so bad that they can then be mounted in the exact same way, so you can double up. Most of the time, if I'm soloing a monster and I do that, I just say, all right, I'm going to slam you into a wall with your face like 3 times. Because that's just some easy damage in there. All the weapons feel great. Because you have that wire, you have like additional attacks and stuff that you can do with them. As you progress, there's a dude who's like, hey, I have a new skill for you. And then you can swap them out. So you have different play styles for all the weapons in the game. I've been using Insect Glaive, and it feels pretty good with all the new stuff that they've added to it. The game running stably has been great. I did multiplayer sessions that also ran like perfectly fine. It also doesn't have the world problem where you would play through that, and because there was no separation in quests between ones that are story mode and ones that are just for multiplayer, you would have a situation of, guys, I need help with this upcoming hunt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept the quest, do it, find it, watch a 2.5-minute cutscene, then you can accept my quest. Because I have to have seen the cutscene first. So, and if you do that with a group who are playing blind, it just added an extra layer of annoyance or hoops you have to jump into to co-op with people as you play through. That's just gone. There's a completely separate quest type that lets you just do it like that. And the last mode that they added is like a horde mode, a tower defense style Monster Hunter mode, where you go up to battle stations and set up guns and cannons and NPC characters and set them up to guard a big door, and there's a bunch of barriers, and then a bunch of monsters just stream in, and then you just end up shooting them or hitting this gong that gives you super buffs so you can actually damage them by just jumping down and fighting normally. And that's a really good way to get like materials of a large variety of monsters instead of just one. But that's a little bit harder to play in solo modes, but I found it pretty fun. Especially when it's just like, God, there's like 6 of these things at once. And the dynamic resolution has now dropped a little bit. But the frame rate has stayed solid, which is all I care about.
Playing the 240.
20.
Put it on my CRT.
No. At no point did it look like a Xenoblade game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what makes it so impressive. I'm like, this is a big area that I can see. So I'm really impressed with just like every area for it. There's some things that I think World that I prefer a little bit, like some stuff specific to my like weapon and stuff where they kind of streamlined it in a way that I'm like, I don't know if I needed it to be as simple as that, but it's really good to just pick up and experience. Really, really polished, and yeah, I didn't feel as bad downgrading to the Switch for this one that I feel like I was thinking the entire time since announcement.
Yeah, I feel like it's a much more functional version of that game.
Yeah,
than you could expect from other games on the Switch.
Yeah, they cut a lot of the fat in terms of just getting into the game faster than what World had. World's hub areas were really massive, and here they've really shrunk them down so you can get to everything you need very quickly.
Yeah, that
So
was something that always confused me in World. Like, why is this all here? I wish that I was just right next to the guy who could craft weapons, and then that was next to the food guy. Why is there's like 3 levels to this, and then I go to an airship? Like,
yes, yeah, they cut that out entirely, where there's a room with the guy that does all the stuff for you, and then a room for the multiplayer part where the food person's also there and the shop person's also there, and they're really small, congested rooms of just get it done quickly. Also, minor change, but I think is pretty good in the fact that you would eat something in World, and if you died once, you would lose the buffs. Now the buffs are a little bit less, but that does not happen.
Can you still eat?
Like an improvement overall?
Yeah. You eat, but then it stays for the entirety of the hunt. So it doesn't become this thing of, I died once, now my stats suck a little bit. That kind of makes me, which can be a little demotivating. But now you don't have to worry about that. It stays throughout. They're just not as big of a buff. But they have some decent customization for the food and stuff. But overall, this is like really impressive Switch game after playing a lot of first-party stuff that kind of didn't run right or had a lot of compromises in it. It feels like they really just hammered down in this as much as possible. The only low point apparently is that it has less post game than any of the other games, which I'm guessing is just because of COVID and other stuff like that. Because they're like,
we're gonna patching it in even.
Yeah, they're doing what they did last time, where it's like a lot of free monsters are gonna come out post launch, like starting next month. And apparently, like the conclusion of the story and stuff, where it's like they're setting stuff up, but it doesn't really get resolved yet. So I'm like, okay, but everyone who says that says, yeah, I played for 60 hours, and I'm like, all right. I mean, I have a decently high playtime, but I've been fighting some of the same early monsters over and over again for drops, so I'm not racing to get to the end on these.
This game really doesn't have enough content. This review written by a man who's put in 300 hours.
I will take that over the person that said this series is really hard to get into. I went into the multiplayer mode only, and then end the article with, maybe I'll do the single player and check out the tutorial. And then I'm also gonna get tricked by a fake Halo Infinite Twitter that saying the game got delayed.
Yeah,
got some smart people in games media.
Yeah, that's insane because that was a legitimate fear. Like they've done that in Monster Hunter before. It's like 4 was really great for beginners. Then that weird thing they did between it and World was not, and then World came out was great for beginners again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was honestly thinking Rise would be that again. Of like, no, this is just for psychos.
Yeah, this is just World.
That's what I was afraid of because it's on the Switch, and that's like I feel like the insane people from the 3DS one would migrate to the Switch one.
Yeah, the ones
it would also be sicko mode.
Who've been beating their hands against the walls, yelling about how they ruined it. They ruined it. What are you doing? It can't be over on the PlayStation.
It's damage numbers.
You need to download my spreadsheet so you know how much health it has and know roughly how much damage you do per attack and work it out in your head.
We're not going to see a fan base that upset until like Dark Souls games just start explaining literally every mechanic in them, and all the Dark Souls YouTubers lose their shit.
No, when they say Dark Souls, when Dark Souls adds a difficulty mode, and then people are like, you ruined it. It's over. My favorite franchise is ruined because other people have a choice.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm now going to throw slurs. Anyway, that's Monster Hunter Rise. Fantastic game. Highly recommend it if you wanted something that's like World, only somehow faster.
Someone pointed out to me, which really freaked me out, that the priestesses have like 4 fingers, including the thumb.
What?
Yeah, because they're like the Wyvernian race where they have hooves and 4 fingers.
Weird. Okay.
Weird. Okay. Well, that's all you played?
Scanning. Yes.
Then I guess it's time to talk about the Podlords.
Oh!
Yeah, the fucking Podlords.
Hype.
I don't know why I turned British for a second.
It's the fucking Podlords! Gabagool! Give me some pastrami over here!
Yes, that's right. The fucking Podlords.
Yeah!
Podlords such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, Terrible Tricky Mess.
Oh no!
That's my bomb!
Hungry!
Red Blaze 27. And viewers like you. Thank you. Suzu Shiro. Emperor Zero. Shibuya Stewart.
Yes! Someone already modded that for the PS2 version, where that will just appear when I summon Chicken Little. It's the best.
I can't wait till they change the fucking model to something horrible.
Oh, hell yeah.
Banjo Kazooie.
Yes! There's the monster that literally looks like a penis.
He looks like he's from Resident Evil. How'd he get in here?
Oh, it's fucked up. Fun fact, since that thing can't see, it has no theme song, because monsters' theme songs only play when they look at you.
That's terrifying.
So it's the only one where there's no music while fighting.
Oh,
so
so it can be after you and you don't know.
Oh, that's terrible.
It just screams at you and electrocutes you.
Rado. 101 Shades of Tired of Nintendo's Bullshit Remastered.
Yeah.
It was real funny how they're just like, yeah, we did it so people would buy these games faster.
Busey Hatcher and the giant teeth.
Teeth could be bigger, honestly.
One of the less horrifying Buseys, to be honest.
It's got a real menacing energy though.
I'm worried that off screen is instead of Big Egg, it's just a big tooth.
WTF Spider-Man. The Microsoft Graveyard.
Oh, God. Someone put up an April Fool's video pretending to be Discord saying, announcing our partnership with Microsoft, which might be the worst one yet.
DFW3K. Me waking up at 3 a.m. to Sliders podcast. What the hell, Dan?
We got him.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We got him.
we got him. Devil Summoner Raido Musanoha versus Shiny Devil Saga Game Freak Edition.
What is happening here?
Look, it's the shiny Mew
It's a
inside
shiny
the logo.
Mew.
Oh my god.
It has worse animations than the PS2 version.
Kristen.
Are we all waiting for something?
I'm making sure that Patreon's not fucking me again this week.
Okay, I just got scared.
Our mics are so good that when we get silent, I think my internet died.
That's also why I was scared. Casey, leave all this in.
Okay.
Dan trying to buy an AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro, only to find out this is the seller.
Oh no.
You pay this much. 5 million scarabs.
Devil Summoner Raido Kusanoha versus Digital Devil Saga Switch Edition!
Whoa.
Okay.
New Super... Not anymore. That was my comment.
Mario being
Mario
fed
Ball.
into a
Yeah.
Mario being fed into a wood chipper.
That's the last sound he makes. As he just gets fed in. Mama! Whoa! Adam Admar. Tonberry. Just a Tonberry this week.
Definitely. I don't know.
Hey there, Glup Shido.
That is the name revealed in Season 2, Glup Shitto.
Kyle Bjork. Hello, we're Blue Pikmin. We heard KZ was mad at us, and we're sorry, so we bought him Kingdom Hearts 3 on PC as a gift. Please enjoy.
Thank you.
One?
You should
Not sure.
return it.
Not sure they did that too. I think he's covered. AG's Bird Fact Time. Crow 64 is a. What do you mean there? That game isn't real? Oh no.
Oh, this is falling apart at the seams.
Zilter. Lordy Fars is taking a nap. Nighty night.
Don't sleep for 6 hours, it'll ruin your life.
My OLED breaking made me realize I've become a TV snob. This is your fault, Dan.
Ugh.
I'm sorry,
Man,
having any taste at all doesn't make you a snob. It's about
if my OLED broke right now, I'd be like, oh, it's time for the credit card.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If for any reason at all, anytime in the future, my OLED is destroyed in a horrible accident, I'll do whatever it takes.
You know, Casey, I hear there's an accident called your TV can't do 4K 120.
Okay, it makes me feel a lot better about this. I'm buying this year's model.
Well, at least you'll be better off than Pat, and thus a better influencer. Chase Ray!
Get fucked, Pat!
Blig de Blue schligged his poo. Volt T-posing.png.
Oh, that's good.
You ready?
Here goes!
Hit that dog.
Week long off work. Just to grind Monster Hunter and take a break. That sounds incredible.
That does sound really good.
Hope you're enjoying it. Daniel, my new girlfriend found out that I was a rant Sona. She left me for number C107 Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon.
Yeah, that's sure a card.
Okay.
I'm surprised you said all that correctly.
He's not me.
Eon. Scrimblow Blimblow has an urge to search What is this shit?
I don't know, man.
People are designing Scrimblow Blimbo, the great platforming character that Sakurai refuses to put into Smash Brothers.
Is he only on this Becky?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I
lore,
think he is an Amiga character.
the lore for this is people going, whenever someone gets mad that Anime Swordsman from popular JRPG makes it in, compared to Scrimbo Blimblo, the platformer that only Westerners liked that sold 10,000 copies.
Yeah, and it's a picture of a guy staring at the camera, says, "I'm going to make you feel unsafe." It's like, this is what they do to Sakurai. And now people have taken it upon themselves to design him, and I hope they take my suggestion that the thing he collects is welfare checks.
Cooper Tank. Daniel, may the Odin sleep recharge the GigaBoots batteries, and may Benny protect you while you sleep.
That never happened, but it's a whole.
Yeah, no, the next week, because I'm taking another off. Another, as in wine.
Yeah, right.
Now you need to next week. You need to do this again, but make that buff Banny into Bane.
Buff Baney.
Yeah, Bob, hear me out on this. It's Banny, but has a Bane mask.
Not you
We
too.
call it Baney.
No.
Baney.
No help.
Baner. Foolishness, Dante. Bite controls everything.
I saw that picture online a while ago.
There's so many, like the one where they just replace V with Ben Shapiro.
I can't handle just the amount of the fact that meme dog has evolved to I like funny yellow dog.
Lamu. Enjoy your pseudo vacation, Bob Dan. Pet kitties to recover energy. I'll let you know how that went when it goes. I think this is the same thing from last week that literally made no sense then, but I'll read it again. Hey, BTD crew, I have a tiny adventure for you. One of you needs to be the main character you see, but which one of you will it be? Yeah, no,
Bob.
this one I'm not going to read, but I'm going to post the image.
Okay.
I'll read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Me when Aqua's armpits run at 120 frames per second.
Aren't you scared of them?
I am the storm that is approaching. See, you got flexed on by the earlier pod lord. You should have put the fucking logo there. I'm sorry, you're looking drab, motherfucker. You showed up at the dance looking like you were homeless.
Sad.
You're gonna be destroyed by this. I hope you try harder next time.
Oh my god.
This has some real armchair devs Tenchu vibes.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man, Indigo Sykes. Just segueing straight back into it. Swag Marth. I said 6'4", by the way, unironically at work last week. God damn it, KZ. 6'2", by the way.
6'4", by the way.
Vox's been showing up in our pod lord. This is not something I'm used to. This is to the theme song Tunnel Rhino from Mega Man X3. The pod lord's name is Tunnel Rhino. Tunnel Rhino. Tunnel Rhino. Song. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for exporting me.
Nailed it.
Based and Uma Musume pilled. Thank you very much to our pod lord.
Okay. Thank you, Podlord, for ending strong.
Thank you,
Yes,
Podlord.
Thank you, Podlords.
And if you'd like to join in the ranks of the Podlords, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. You get many benefits such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool, our anime review podcast, as well as extended armchair dev pitches, where we more thoroughly explain our ideas, and Cursed Content Club commentary tracks alongside Cursed Content by Committee, our Patreon exclusive Cursed Content show, which also has a commentary track. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. I will now put on my headphones because I don't know if KZ tried to fuck with me. It doesn't matter.
I wasn't doing anything. I went ooh at one point.
So, Bob,
Yeah.
I have an emote idea. It's Bandy, but she's in a Bane mask, and we call her Baney.
No.
Oh, awesome.
Bob,
We've
you
got
know it'll
news.
stop if you just have it happen.
At this point, Tosh isn't going to draw out of like some sort of protest.
I'm sorry, we can only make it happen if it replaces the front of the lawn cat banny.
No, it's that same emote, but it's a tier 2 version, so only the tier 2 subs get Baney.
That makes sense. I could get behind this.
I could get behind that.
We paid $10. I can't believe this.
What? No, I can't
believe this.
I'm gonna buy this to Time and Eternity, and no one judge me. So we've got news.
Yeah,
Buy
okay.
Powers on Blu-ray.
You know what? This is a better choice than that, I think.
Yes.
So please don't buy it before I buy it, or I'll cry, because it's already way too much money. Anyway, we've got news. I'm going to talk about the most important news of the week. Out of nowhere, Sony went, that Ratchet Clank game's going to be 60 frames per second next month. And then 2 days later, they went, as in now.
In March.
As in the first.
No, the 31st
It wasn't
of March.
even the first.
Yeah, they jumped in
March 30th.
As in April in Japan.
No, it was 2
No,
days
that's
because
so wrong.
it's fucking unreal. I was
Jesus.
like, guys, god damn it.
It was great. I said it on stream while Dan was on his phone going, no, I'm not even there.
Yeah, no, it was multiple layers of fucked up because I told Bob, hey, when they do that update, we should do a playthrough stream. And then they did it way too early. And I was like, why? In April doesn't mean 2 days before April. It means any time in that 30-day span or whatever it is.
Sony, why? Now Sony released the PS3 and PS2 ones on the PS5, you fucks.
Yes, that's correct. That's the full sentence. Oh, yeah, we should talk about that. It got confirmed Sony is, in fact, shutting down the PlayStation Store for PS3 and PSP on July 2nd and on August 27th for the Vita.
Monsters.
They are. They're fucking criminals. They're goddamn monsters. This is terrible. Why are you doing this? What? Why did you say that?
And they still have. They said that you're still being provided with things you bought, so it can't be any even remotely considerable amount of money they're being saved. It has to be like a pittance.
I don't even know if this will stop people from downloading shit illegitimately.
Right?
They're literally just stopping people from giving them money.
You know what? No, it's even more fucked up. There's some indie developer, I forget who, that was like, yeah, my Sony contact, they let us buy a Vita dev kit 2 months ago.
What?
Yeah. So they bought one 2 months ago and it like arrived recently, and it's just like, yeah, we've canceled our game now because the port of that game on that because we won't be able to finish it in time.
Yeah, this is even crazier for the Vita because like that's what 6 years newer than the PSP and PS3 store.
Yeah.
You don't understand. Look, corporations, you want people to pay money for the shit that you funded the development of. That's fair. That's fine. Offer ways for them to do it. Because the more you cut people off from paying you illegitimately for things, the more you train people on not even considering it in the first fucking place. Okay? People are sitting here. They want to get a thing on a platform. And when you cut off their ability to do so, they will look into how they do that illegitimately. And the more they get used to that, the more they're inclined to think of that before they think about giving you any money, the less money you're going to get from normal consumers, normal people. This isn't even I'm not even going to try to make the argument of like, you should do this for preservation's sake, which you should, but you're a corporation, so you're fucking evil inherently. The fucking notion here is that you should try to eat the cost on God knows what potato server you have running this shit, which I know the crux of this problem is you're fucking morons and you made your store on some archaic fucking architecture, didn't port it to anything else. It's not flexible at all. So unlike Microsoft, who could sell me Dead Rising in 2021 for the 360, your ass has
just the 360 version, not even the remaster.
No, not even that. They can sell me the 360 version of Dead Rising in 2021. Your dumb ass is going to shut down that potato server because you never ported it to anything else to make it more power efficient or take up less space.
They're still charging monthly for PlayStation Plus. The whole point of that is supposed to be to maintain network.
Right.
And clearly they don't care.
No.
No.
So I don't fucking know what to tell you. This is clearly the most fucked up, stupid thing they've done recently, because Microsoft did that thing where they re-announced a thing that they're going to do, and they got points for it this time, because Sony immediately fucked up as a preamble to their re-announcement. That re-announcement being back compat games will be coming to xCloud. I should remind everyone at this point, because somebody was like, hey, you could play Cameo like that. I was like, I would never do that because it's a 1S running it in the cloud.
Yeah.
And I don't think that'll hit 30.
Probably not. And also, it's anything on the cloud. So no, never.
Hey, man, there's certain thresholds. There are various thresholds. I think the cloud being there is enough of a deal breaker, and then it's running on the 1S.
Yeah.
So it's Cameo from 2005, but it still can't run at 30, and now latency from the cloud. I'm okay. But yeah, this is so ridiculous. You think there would be shades of gray here, but no, Microsoft's just doing their back compat well, and Sony just isn't doing it at all anymore. Bob talked about it last episode. He talked about how back in the PS3, PSP era, there was a sense of an ecosystem that you were buying into, that you would buy a thing and it would work on the other thing, like PlayStation mini games, PS1 games, etc. And that doesn't exist anymore. The closest you get is the PS4 games run on the PS5, mostly, like 99.9% of them. So it's really fucked up that Sony's going to shut down the rest of the shit at the same fucking time, because they never looked into how to make it feasible going forward. That's too much effort. I was sitting here, I was hoping for the day where some sort of PS3 back compat layer was developed, right, in the PS5, and we could just play those games on the PS5. We could start buying PS3 games.
Yeah, that was the dream.
Right.
I have no idea why they don't pursue it at all.
And
there's
did
clearly no effort made.
They did that on Xbox side last gen.
Yeah.
Right?
They saw that the competition was doing
patents and stuff for like, here's our patent for like trophy support for PSP and even older games.
Yeah,
PS5.
But when they do
nothing comes of it.
When they do that, it mostly seems to be injecting trophies into bespoke releases of that, right? So you have to buy. The company has to decide to bring their game over to that, then they release it, and then they do the coding to implement those. I forget how long they said it took to. They said it took like 2 weeks each to put trophies into PS2 games, if I remember correctly. Some developer was talking about that's about how long it takes. And it's like, well, if we didn't have trophies, could we get more of these games? Because I can tell you right now which is more important.
Yeah, right. No.
I think we're all being pretty harsh to Sony. It's not their fault their servers are built on 4chan.
You joke. But when I looked into what exactly...
You said I was joking.
That's true. The security exploit, as they called it, the data breach, the master hackers that got all the data off the PlayStation servers back in the day.
Yeah.
I looked into exactly how secure it was. It was fucking unreal. Sony as a corporation shouldn't exist still because of their negligence handling customer information back then. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, that's fair.
The thought that they got the slap on the wrist that they did is insane. Like, it's fucked up. They need to get their fucking shit together, and they really should have worked on revising the whole PlayStation Store architecture so that way, I don't know, people couldn't illegitimately download all the shit on the store. Like, at any point, they should have gotten that shit together, but it's fucking sad because here we are, they're shutting it down, and they can't fucking get their shit together. Oh, and Microsoft needs to announce more games for back compat, not announce putting those games into the cloud. I don't give a shit about that.
Right, who cares?
Yeah, they really do. If I had any kind of like reassurance that no, we will be doing more for this whole gen, like a Series X would be happening within the next few months for me, and it's like, well, I can't because I can't trust anyone anymore.
That's fair. For all we know, they did what they did.
To put Project 8 on there. And then announce they're going to FPS boost it.
260.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous.
Also put Sonic 2006 on it so I can just be that sicko, my face pressed up against the window going, yes, yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the most positive experience I've gotten out of the Series X by landslide is it's back compat. So the thought that one of the companies that's directly competing with this in the same market at the same level with the same appeal just doesn't even have that is insane. Anyway, let's move on.
Sure.
Bob, shoot.
Sure. We got a leak of a Call of Duty this week. Call of Duty 2021. It's another World War II game
That's unfortunate.
being made by Sledgehammer.
That's also unfortunate that they're trapped doing that.
Yes, Call of Duty World War II. Vanguard.
Did you see the initial like reports on it?
No.
Because initially it was going to be like, this is World War II, but an alternate version where it kept going like even 15 years later.
That's fucking stupid.
Oh no.
And then the other reporters went, no, it's just a normal World War II game.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. That first one would have been interesting at least, and we would have gotten aggro to scream about how much it sucks.
Okay, see,
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense, but it'd be anything. I tried to play their World War II game that came out last time. It's just such milquetoast. Like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so done with World War II.
How much worse will it be if it literally doesn't look as good as the last two games?
I wonder if they're going to, because World War II was also the one where they had instead of a menu for multiplayer, you stood in a hub and it was terrible.
Yes, that one was a nightmare.
Oh.
So it's really
Man.
sad that these guys have been relegated to work on the World War II franchise.
Yeah.
Now,
God, that is rough because I was seeing like rumors that the new Battlefield's going to be more futuristic
Good.
Cool.
and have like drones and shit.
Okay.
Sledgehammer, you need to listen to me closely. You can save this. You make the campaign about you, the player character, joining a new division whose job is to kill Hitler, and you make the leader of that division Adler. With no explanation as to why he's the same age 40 years earlier.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, no, I do need to see a trailer of this. Maybe they'll go crazy with it. Please do anything.
Please have a tone. Any.
The tone is World War II.
Ah, damn.
Let's see what else I got here. Katana Zero is getting free DLC that's like half the size of the main game. They're working on that now, apparently. That's cool. One of my biggest complaints about that game was how it kind of just ended. It didn't feel like it wrapped anything up. And I was like, well, I guess I have to wait for a sequel. That sucks.
Well, that's good.
So hopefully that happens sometime.
I still haven't tried that game.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's for people who don't know about it, it's like somewhat like Outline Miami, but as a platformer instead of a top-down sort of situation.
Hmm.
So everybody dies really quick, and you have a katana. It's pretty neat.
I like katanas.
Katanas are pretty cool.
And the EA Sports announced they're doing a PGA Tour game this year.
Dude,
Wait, what?
fight night.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if they actually said which year they're going to do it, but they're working on it. It's for next gen, so it might be next year.
Okay.
And that'll be great because that means they get to do one of their one PGA game for the gen.
And they directly responded to Mr. Feel on Twitter and said, no more fight night. We're done doing that forever.
Why? There's no value in a fight night. Why don't we do UFC instead?
Yeah, the same
There's
thing,
no
right?
value in a fight night because we can't sell you a better jab for 800 loot box purchases.
Yes. I saw people talking about how this is going to lead to the fact that it's one of the few times a major sport's going to have like two competing video games again.
Huh.
Because EA keeps giving up on NBA Live, so this would be one of those direct competition situations. So that's neat.
Yeah, I know that when EA was actually doing these, they were really way ahead of what that other guys have been doing. Because for 2K, they didn't even build that team themselves. They just bought them after they'd done a few, I think it was called Golf Master games, something like that. And they were really, really low rent. Like they were the games I'd hand to a customer, like, well, it looks like it's probably from a gen ago, but it gets you golf on your system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully those guys got better of the 2K owns now, and hopefully this turns out well. Because I know people really like the way that those Tiger Woods games played.
I like golf games.
Do you?
Yeah.
Or do you just like Mario Golf?
I remember playing Cyber Tiger on the N64 and a couple of PGA Tour games on PS2.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, actually, I think it's fun enough. I like the feeling of like getting an eagle or a birdie in something.
Yeah.
I just remembered Mario Golf exists in this podcast and get excited over that fucking run across the field, fuck people up golf.
That's going to be good shit. That's going to be so good.
I would throw a fucking fireball at you, and now I'm gonna go tee off.
I bought Time and Eternity. I'm sorry.
Okay. I can't
God.
blame you, I guess.
This is unlike the fucking Powers thing where I didn't buy Powers, but you bought Time and
Here's the thing. There's no good quality footage of Time and Eternity anywhere on YouTube, I found out. And that's eating away at
And
my
there's
soul.
no good quality footage of Powers either, no matter what version you have.
Yeah, even the Blu-ray isn't good quality footage.
Yeah, it was color graded wrong.
Yeah, that's because you can't do anything to save that.
Oh, man. Shit.
All right, this is the last piece of my news. Got some sad stuff here.
Okay.
Yohei Shimabori.
Shimbori? Yeah.
Director of DOA Sense Dimensions, the 3DS one. He even worked on Ultimate back in 2004. He's leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that sad news?
I mean, it shows that they're less invested in Dead or Alive than ever.
Does it? Or does it show that they're trying to get someone else in there?
Maybe
Because
it's
5
that.
and 6 are the same fucking game.
I know.
It
He
is
released
literally
6 twice.
It is literally that meme about these are two of the same image.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't know how much that's up to him and how much that's up to higher ups.
Yeah, who knows? But
What if it becomes nothing but extreme games from now on?
also, I don't know how good the story mode was in the later ones.
No, it wasn't very good, but they did try. Like, they made cutscenes and stuff. It's just not many, and it was a little rough.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe, hopefully, they come in with some shit. Isn't there rumors that... No, it's Sega.
Yes,
it's rumored that Sega...
Virtua Fighter.
Well, there you go. If Virtua Fighter comes back in strength, then Dead or Alive will feel like it's being
They
clowned
both
on.
look the same to me.
Well, you're a monster.
He did leave saying, I know that something to the effect of, I'm disappointed with some of the launches, and I know I let people down various times. Okay, I'm leaving.
Oh no!
That's
it was
my
rough.
resignation
God,
speech. Damn.
Let me try and get
that's like
verbatim
when-
here.
God, this is the worst. That's like when Iwata apologized for a bad E3, then died.
Aww. Aww.
As of today, I have left Koei Tecmo Games. I worked on Dead or Alive for 16 years, and while there were times I was pleased, there were also times I was unable to live up to expectations. I would like to take this opportunity to express my utmost gratitude to the many people who have supported and take care of me. Thank you so much.
That's always a bummer.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he knows.
Yeah, he knows. Okay, well, let's get some positive fighting news, Feel.
Okay, King was announced for King of Fighters 15.
Hell yes. What excellent taste they have.
They do. I know nothing about KOF, but I'm like, that's one of the good ones.
Yes.
Now put Ash Crimson in because I've seen enough people be mad about the prospect of Ash Crimson being in that I need it.
Why are you evil?
No.
Casey, you do
this
that
is not a
exact
case
thing all
of being
the
me.
time.
Yeah, I was like, this is the
Yeah,
big
one
case.
that-
Yeah, I know, but I'm a double standard. What does it matter?
Casey's like, why are you being evil? That's my bit.
Yeah.
2, most of the people I see mad at Ash Crimson are like, I don't want a pretty boy in my game.
What?
That makes me feel insecure as a man.
Oh, get out of gaming. Fuck you.
That's the subtext of like every person bitching about Ash Crimson because it's not like KOF is full of story.
I'm like,
It is.
look at half the roster, man. Come on.
No. That dude has big pecs, so he isn't pretty.
Okay.
He makes
Show me
me
those
feel
fat
masculine to look at. Yori crushing cans between his pecs is completely masculine.
Yes.
Makes me feel things.
Respect.
Yeah,
That's what
Yup.
you're feeling.
I'm so heterosexual right now.
I'm gonna need one moment. I'm so heterosexual right now. I'm gonna need an electric lemonade. Let me just calm down with this fruity drink.
I'm so heterosexual. I need to have a mudslide with a cherry on top of it right now. I need to drink my white wine spritzer.
Can we do this for the next 40 minutes?
Do you want to edit that?
You sure?
No.
Okay, Dan Vito. So let's wipe out the rest of mine.
Sure.
Blue Reflection Second Light is coming to PS4, PC, and Switch. That's a sequel to a game called Blue Reflection on the PS4. It's like an RPG about magical girls. The director did a real fucking weird interview around the time the game came out. Let's not discuss it anymore.
Well, hey,
Okay, sounds great.
I was like, this game is really pretty. I kind of like it. Now I'm
Don't
worried.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're not.
Don't
gonna
worry
worry
about it. My understanding is none of it is actually in the game. He just did a real weird interview. It's also getting an anime and a mobile game, but I'm surprised it did well enough to get a sequel. Like, I never heard anybody talk about it. You know, I own it, and I'm like, well, I haven't played it yet. Maybe someday. And last year, Platinum, as a joke, announced the arcade shooter Sol Cresta coming to arcades never.
Yeah.
This year they announced it's real in the first game in their Neo Arcade Classic series. It looks neat.
Guess I'll go look it up real quick.
Like it looks like a neat Ikaruga-esque shooter.
Yeah, this is that thing where they
Straight out of Dreamcast.
Yeah, they did that last year, but now it's cool. Now it's a thing you'll buy.
I hope they can do this. I don't know if they've ever.
I have to assume that Kamiya is deeply involved in this, and he'll play it and then tell you whether or not it's wrong.
Probably.
Oh,
They're like we planned on having Bayonetta 3 just be this for half the game.
So here's what they did with the visuals, and it really pisses me off.
Yeah, I noticed it did not look like Dreamcast.
So here's what they're doing. It's 3D graphics, and they're intentionally aliasing the pixels by having it render really raw
they
looking,
are doing that.
really low res pixels. So there's aliasing everywhere in a way that you would never actually see back in the day. And I'm just like, please just don't do that. If it's going to be 3D graphics, I want to see it in a high resolution. That's why I was excited that Ikaruga, came out on PC.
Right? Like, you just want to see
the graphics. If it's 3D and not pixel art, then why wouldn't I want to see it in a high res, you guys? I don't want to move my ship and see like aliasing crawling across my wings. That's not great. Maybe they'll allow a way to unlock it. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if just no Platinum game ever has a goofy minigame section again? Because they're now making these arcade games.
That'd be interesting.
What if like, oh, here's our Space Harrier knockoff, and you never see a section of that in the game again? I
don't know how great this looks mechanically as a shmup, but I'm not the most hardcore shmup player either, so.
Here's our car moving puzzle game that's a sequel to the Astral Chain.
It is in fact just some fucked up version of Pipe Dreams.
I love BioShock, so I'll love this.
Did you know Pipe Dreams was made by LucasArts? Did anyone know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. What? Because the other day someone said that and I lost my mind. One moment. Pipe Dreams game. Wow, it is really hard to find the original Pipe Dreams. Huh. Maybe it's Pipe Dream. I will look that up while people talk about things. Casey, you're the only one left with news.
I'm sorry. I just got distracted because Aaron Greenberg on Twitter is like saying, if you help us, we can get mini Xbox Series X mini fridges made.
Shut the fuck up. How about you talk about back compat, asshole?
Yeah, is that real? Casey, that sounds like something you would make up as a joke.
Oh, wait, today's April Fool's. Fuck him.
Oh my god. That's his idea of an April Fool's joke.
But it's their thing that you can.
He specifically said not April Fool's joke.
Okay.
Not an April Fool's joke.
Okay.
Yeah, not an April Fool's joke, not clickbait. Because it's that shit they do anyway. So it's just like, April Fool's, Casey's going to be in an Arby's parking lot.
Why do they keep doing this?
And the shitty thing is this is fucking over people, because if Xbox wins, that means Skittles will not bring back lime-flavored Skittles.
Ugh. Why would... I heard that they replaced it with Apple Skittles, and I was like, who? What?
Our final piece of news for this episode. Platonic Friends, which is Platonic making their own publishing label, have announced their first indie title they're going to be publishing. It's Demon Turf. We saw this at Summer of Gaming last year. It's got the cute demon girl with the weird like 2D like art 3D style to it. It's a platformer.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Drop. It was one of those things I played during my demo roundup.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it still looks good. It's coming to everything, basically.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about that. Is it coming to PS4 and PS5 at the same time as everything else? Because when I looked it up, I couldn't confirm that.
Yeah, it looks like it's not announced for PS4 and PS5, but it got rated, so people are assuming.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
like every place is saying it's like that, so.
Okay. By the way, I looked it up. Pipe Mania is the original game. It is made by LucasArts, and it is the first Pipe Dream game. Oh, wait. Okay, here's the real deal. Pipe Mania is a game made by the assembly line for the Amiga. It was ported to everything by Lucasfilm, who named it Pipe Dreams when they ported it.
Ooh.
There we go. Still, really fucking weird that LucasArts was involved with Pipe Dreams. Pipe Mania.
Wow.
That's a way worse name.
It is.
Wow.
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 That's my mom.
Okay, time to go, guys. What are you doing, Dan, this week besides nothing?
Nothing.
Okay, cool.
I hope I'm right.
God.
We've recorded podcasts 2 or more times for hours every week for the last 6 weeks straight.
Yeah.
I'm pretty burnt out. So nothing. Hey KZ, what are you doing?
Streaming. And that's it. That's all I can talk about. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Mr. Phil?
I guess I'll be streaming things. I don't know what yet. We'll work something out. Hopefully, I'm going to strictly keep to the only games I like until Mass Effect comes out.
That's a good plan. You fucked up with those Sonic games, though.
None of those. Hey, I didn't have to beat any of them. It was like, I'm going to have fun and give this game a try for 40 minutes. Oh, it's bad. Time to move to the next one.
Also, I forgot to say this earlier. You did your tweet review, which was pretty similar to what you said in the podcast. That is literally the exact reaction we had to all of those when me and Bob played them years ago. The weird thing is, and I don't know how your chat looked because I didn't read chat while I lurked on your stream. Were people sitting there and they're like, you're like, Sonic Advance 1 seems all right, and then they were like, just wait till you hit 2, that's way better. And then you hit 2 and you're like, this seems worse, and then they went, no, just wait for 3, it's even better. Did they seem to have the idea that
because I went 2, 1, 3.
Okay.
You shoot him off.
Because I had only intended to play 1.
Yeah.
I only intended to play 1, and they're like, no, you gotta give 1 a chance and get through. And I'm like, fine, I'll give him a chance because I didn't expect 2 to turn me off so fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, man, these are one seems, what's the term?
Serviceable,
but God, I can't even remember the word. Like, not special. It seems mundane, but fine.
Yeah.
Sonic Advance 2 seems like that, but slightly worse and with way worse bosses. And then 3 is just like, 3 is where I assume all the jokes about Sonic Advance being giant death rectangles comes from.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, that was our experience playing it too.
Because it's like, wow. Also, Sonic Advance 1 and 2 have like, wow, this must also be where the stereotype of Sonic games being hold right comes from. Because you can just walk through those games doing that. I barely had to jump.
So what are you doing as more good games to treat yourself?
I might be like, let's play all the Genesis Sonics. I might play Brave Fencer Musashi, a game I really like and haven't played in years. I might play Mega Man Legends 2. I might play the Toho Metroidvania to cap off playing the Lodoss War one, but probably not because that one's a lot harder. And I feel like that there was already like 30-second spans in the Lodoss War one where I'm dead silent because it's like, this is fucking hard.
I need to try Disco Elysium because the Final Cut came out.
Yeah, I might do that with the Twitch integration.
Ooh,
where the audience, a little prompt appears on the video that is the dialogue choices. They can also fuck with your stats.
Yeah, they can buff or debuff your stats. They can force you to do things, and they can be like, okay, that check you have to make right now, it's harder now or easier.
That sounds great.
I think Pat, Super Best Friends Pat, Castle Super Beast Pat streamed it. It was like, they made sure I failed every single check.
Yeah, he tweeted, I failed every single check in that stream.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's okay. Just go get a chicken dinner and you'll feel better.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
I got an idea for an emote for your channel.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support the GB Podcast Network, head on over to patreon.com/GB Podcast so that way you can get exclusive behind the scenes on stuff, other content. There's a lot of content. It's basically non-ending avalanche of content. So head on over there, become a $5 backer or a Podlord today.